Hello students, today's agenda is to check homework. We'll be learning piecewise and step functions. Today, students will be able to graph and write piecewise functions and step functions. In here it says, write the piecewise function for the graph. Describe the domain and range. So here for the first one, we have an open circle, and then we have this line that continues infinitely on that direction. And so, if you think about it, we can look at how many points it's going down and to the right, down and to the right, down and to the right, and it looks like it goes down 2 spaces and 1 to the right, 2 spaces and then 1 to the right, 2 spaces and then 1 to the right. So it's around there. That's just to be able to find the y-intercept. So that's my initial point. Since it's at -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we put -5 right here. And then we said that it's going down 2 spaces and 1 to the right, down 2 spaces, 1 to the right. That's the slope. So with x, we're going to put -2 over 1, but we don't need to put the 1. That's only when we graph it. So for this, the equation will be -2x minus 5. However, we have some constraints. Okay, what are the constraints here? So this graph, if you notice, is only from this value of x to the left. That's where the line is. And so aligned, we look at this circle, we know that it's not included because it's open, and so we count -1, 2, 3. So it's a -3. So x is less than -3. How do we know if we put the equal? If it was closed, then we put equal. If it's open, then we just put the symbol. One thing that I also mentioned is that if that arrow is pointing a little towards that side, then even this symbol is pointing towards that side. Okay, so less than, and the arrow is also pointing more towards the left. The second piece of this function is from, if you look at the lower and higher numbers in relation to x. So in here is -1, -2, -3. I'm just going to put the constraints first. The circle is closed, so we put less or equal. We put x is less or equal, because it's also closed, to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4. And what is the value of y for this line? Well, it's 1, 2, but it's going down, so it's -2. So my piecewise function is -2 when x is greater or equal than -3, but less or equal than 4. For the last one, the constraint is exactly a 1, 2, 3, 4 in x, and it's greater than that, right? My graph is not before that 4, it's after that 4. So it's x is greater. Is it equal? No, it's open, so you just leave it like that. So it's greater than 4. And what is the initial point? Well, we have to look, it goes from corner to corner. That means that is 1 over 1, 1 over 1 for the slope. So you can do the opposite, go down 1, 1 to the left, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 1. So it's right here. If it was extended, it will go through here. That's my initial point, -1. And we said that the slope, you go from any point to any other point, you go up 1 and 1 to the right. So it's 1 over 1, but you wouldn't put it, just put x minus 1. For the domain, we said that we can do the vertical. Since this has an arrow, it means that it will continue, continue, continue. So that means that the graph will be touching all these values on x. And then in here also touches the graph, and it will continue to the right because of the arrow. So that means that the domain is all real numbers. For the range, we do the same thing, but it touches only at -2 for the value of y, and then it starts again right here, not included the +1. It's greater than 1. Okay, so again, Again, y is equals to -2, and again, greater than 1, okay? At 2, and then 1 after 1. So we're going to write y is equals to -2, or y is greater than 1. Okay, that's the range. Okay, for the next one, we have 3 sections or 3 pieces for this piecewise function. However, the 3 connect at certain point, right? So let's look at this one first. Well, the initial point, this one is crossing through that, so it's right here, which is +1. So +1. For the slope, which is the coefficient of x, we look, this is 1 point, and then it touches again right here, and then it touches again right here. So you can include those points to guide yourself. From the initial point, it goes 1, 2, 3 down, and 1, 2 to the right. So it's -3 over 2. And from where to where is that happening? Well, my graph is right there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we don't know it's connected to the other line, you can, for this section, you can put one of them is going to be open, and for the other one is going to be closed. So we're going to put that x is, again, we're going to cover whatever is not part of our graph. So it's at 4 and to the left. So 4, and then we put it to the left. It's pointing that way because the line is pointing that way as well. Again, because these points connect, you can include the equal on this one and not on the other one. Okay, you can include it in either one. Okay, for the next one, it's only this value, so only this piece. So it's between that 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And 5, 6, 7. That's where my line is. Since I included the equal in here, I'm not going to include it in here, so I'm going to put 4, only less than x, less or equal than, we already said that it's at 7 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, at 7. And what is the value for the y equals? Well, y is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a -5. It's when they're giving you a horizontal line, that's when you do the yeah, remember? And it's a -5, but only between these 2 points, 4 and 7. This equal, you can include it for this one, so close it, or you can include it for this one, but not this one. So if you put it in one, then the other one you shouldn't include it, okay? So the last piece, now we're going to cover this section, and it's when x is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's, since it's to the right, that means that x is greater than 7, okay? Just for the constraint, we're going to put x is greater than 7. Again, when I said you can include the equal in here, but if you don't include it in here, you can include it in here, okay? In either one is fine. And what is the function or equation? You just have to extend it, remember, because we need to find the initial point. Just looking that it goes from corner to corner is right here, so that means that it's +2. Okay, if we were to extend that line all the way to the y-intercept, the y-intercept is +2. And for x, what is the coefficient? Well, to get from here to here, or from any point to any point, you go down 1, 1 to the right, down 1, 1 to the right, 1 down, 1 to the right. That means that it's going to be -1/1, so you just put negative. Remember that 1/1, we don't put it, only when we're graphing. Again, just remember that for this one, because they're connecting, one of them is going to be with the equal sign and the other one won't. And the same here. You can give it to either this one, or you can give it in here to this one or this one. It doesn't matter which one. What is the domain? The domain is the values of x. Remember that if it has an arrow, that means that it's going to keep going. That means that to the left, it won't stop. To the right, it has another arrow, so it's going to keep going. So again, it's not going to stop. That means that the domain is all real numbers. For the range, is the values on y. So again, we do the test. Because of the arrow, it keeps going up, the same thing. And there are no gaps like in the first one. Okay, so that means that for this one is also all real numbers. Graph the step function. Describe the domain and range. So a step function, looks like what it says, similar to this. It refers that between any given month, you have a certain amount of debt, then you made a payment, and then after that, for a couple other months, you have another debt. The same, you probably paid $2, and then you only owe $1 for between those 2 months in the past. Then, between the 3 months ago and right now, you already are saving, you have $1 in the bank. And then between now and in 3 months, you're gonna maintain $3 in your account. Something like that. It also works, step functions also work like when you do a membership, some memberships or even insurance, you pay for 6 months. So from month 0 to 6 months, you already pay like $600 maybe. And then from month 6 to month 12, then it's $1,200. So it will be, the graph is going to be kind of like steps. That's why it's called a step function. So having that in mind, let's start graphing here. It says that f of x is equals to -3 if x is greater than -9, but less or equal than -6. So -3, that means that it will be a -3 for y, and then you do, the graph, if it didn't have these constraints, it would go from side to side at -3. However, it says, no, just between these months. And it's not including this month or 9 months ago. Okay, so negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's a -3, not including the -9. So we put an open circle. And it goes all the way to -6, so -6 is right here. And that one, we close it because it has the equal sign. And just connect those two circles. For the next one is -1 between -6, not including the -6, up to -3, including the -3. So -1 is this line right here, but between -6 up to -3. Okay, -1, 2, 3, and then -1. Connect those. For the next one is 1 between -3 and 0. So -3, but it's 1, open circle. And then at 0 is closed circle. And we connect those. And for the last one is 3, not including the 0, but closing it because of the equal sign at 3. So +3, 1, 2, 3, open circle, close circle, and connect them. To find the domain and the range, I'm going to show you a trick. So for the domain, all you have to do is look at the function, and you're going to get this one and the last one. So you're going to say that x is greater than -9, but less than 3. And that's only if they are aligned, okay? So be careful, because not all the graphs align like that, okay? If you notice in here, it's on the same value for x, in here too, in here too. So x is greater than -9, but less or equal to 3 because it has the equal, or because it's closed in here. For the range, you're going to put y equals, and you just put these values, okay, starting from the smallest one to the biggest. So -3, -1, 1, 3. Those are the values for the range. Last but not least, it says write the piecewise function for the graph, and we're also going to describe the domain and range. So we're going to put y, or f of x, equals, since we have 4, we're going to leave enough space. We can already put x in the middle, and then we notice that at the beginning, this one closes at the beginning. In here, it was at the end. That's why the second one had the equal. But since this closes at the beginning, then it's going to be the equal in here, less or equal than. And what is the value for x? We go down up to here. It's going to be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So -7 and -6, -5. But in here, since it's open circle, we put only less than, okay, because it's an open circle. And what is the value? And what is the value for y in here? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So y is equals to 7 between when x is greater or equal than -7, but less than -5. Then is 7. For this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. When x is greater or equal than, since it's a line, it's going to be -5, but less than -1, 2, 3 at -3. And for this one, the value of y is 1 when x is greater or equal than -3. We notice that it's aligned, right? And up to less than -1. Since it's open circle, we don't include the equal. And for the last one, the last piece of this piecewise function, or more specific, it's a step function. It's at -1, -2 for y. So -2 when x is greater or equal than -1, but less than +1. The domain, remember that if they are aligned, we can just say that x is greater or equal than -7, but less than 1. We're just going to get the last one and the first one and the last one. And for the range, y is equals to -2, +1, +4, and 7. Oh, we have it here. -2, 1, 4, and 7. Okay, those are the values for the range of this step function. With this, you're able to do your assignment. If you can, please support our channel by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing around here. This is the link to the entire unit, and here you will find the next lesson. Now you're able to practice on your own and have fun.